Okay. In this video, I will demonstrate a few different things, how to create a frequency distribution table from Google Sheets in a point and click method using the pivot table option. Secondly, I'll show you how to create a histogram from raw data. And then I'll show us how to create a histogram from a frequency distribution table. And then finally, I will demonstrate how to compute the mean in Google Sheets. Okay, so let's start with making a frequency distribution table using the point and click method. So here we have a data set. You see participant ID is the first column, occupation is the second column, and weight is on the third column. And looks like there's 31 people here. It says 32, but you have to minus the heading row, so it's 31 people. Okay, so the way to create the histogram is to, let's say we want to create a histogram for the occupation, like how many times each occupation shows in the data, shows up in the data. What you want to do is click the B here, it highlights everything, and you want even the heading to be included here. And then go to data, and then go to pivot table, and then click on the existing sheet, because this says that you want to insert the frequency distribution table in this sheet here. You click on new sheet, and it opens up a new Google sheet, and we don't want that. And this space here is basically you enter where you want the table to appear on the sheet. So all you have to do is just click. Yeah, I'll click right below the histogram title. And then it basically, this is the identification marker for this space within the sheet. So once you click it, it inputs it automatically. Just hit OK. Here it is. And then click create. And now you have this thing where it says rows and values, and then you have the new pivot table editor screen come up right here. And this is what you want. You only need to change two things on this side. Go to rows and click add, and then click occupation, because that's the column that we selected and we're looking at. And then you see here, it pulls out all the different occupations, unique occupations that appear on this list. So this is the exhaustive list of all these occupations. The next thing you need to do on here is click on values and click add and click occupation again. And then you see here, it does a count of how many times each occupation shows up on this list. And then you could just X out of this. So the way to read this table is you look at chef, it says that the chef occupation shows up 3 times in this list, meaning there are 3 people on this list who are chefs. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and no more. And there's a total of 31 different people on this list. So again, what you can see here, right here, that's really it starts at 2, the first person, and then it ends at 32. So that means there's 31 people. You could also highlight all of this and go down to the right, and it does a count for you. It says 31 people. And that's how you make a frequency distribution table using the point and click method. All right, so the next thing is how to create a histogram from raw data. So this is raw data. Raw data is basically just the data frame or the data set that you're working from, or the X scores. Each of these are X scores on each of these columns. So how you create a histogram, and again, a histogram is just a graphical way of displaying your data, very commonly used in research, and a very common and useful way to present the data. So the way to create the histogram is from raw data is, let's say we want to create a histogram for the occupation category. All you have to do is click B again, where it highlights everything, including the title. That's very important. And then you go to insert, then you go to chart. And there you go. You have a histogram. I'm going to resize this by holding shift and clicking the corner to make it smaller, because we don't really need it that big. And then I'm going to move it to right under the histogram section. And you really have to just click at the border in order to move it. Otherwise, you click in the wrong place, then the formatting gets really wonky. So here, the way you read this is that you see here, lawyer is one of the occupations and it appears about 3 times. So you look up the lawyer here, it appears about 3 times. Um, so it's accurate. Oh, psychologist here appears 6 times. You see psychology here appears 6 times. And the way they order this is basically like first come, first serve. Like lawyer appears first in this list, so they put lawyer first. Psychologist appears second, so psychologist appears second in this graph. So the next thing to look at is how to create a histogram from a frequency distribution table. Sometimes you don't have this raw data, and sometimes you only have this frequency distribution table, and you want to create a histogram from this table. So the way to do that is very simple. All you have to do is highlight both the occupation categories and the frequency count on the right side. And you go to insert and you go to chart again, the exact same step as before. And you see here, it creates a histogram for you. And again, I'm going to resize this by holding shift and dragging the corner to make it smaller and more manageable. And now I'm going to drag it over to the right placement by dragging from one of the border. And again, if you drag in the wrong place, it like messes up the formatting. So don't do that. Go to edit and undo. So you see here that it's possible to create a histogram from both the raw data and the frequency distribution table. So this should reflect this. The only difference really is that the order, here they do it, but here is sorted by alphabetical order. So chef comes first with a C, then L, then M, then N, then P. I don't think there's really a way to make the other one in alphabetical order. I tried. If you know, let me know. But the information is the same. Chef appears 3 times in the histogram. Over here, chef appears 3 times in data. All right, so the next thing is, the last thing I'm going to show is how to compute the mean in Google Sheets. So you see here, let's say you want to compute the mean weight for this sample of 31 people. So the way to do that is highlight everything and go to the bottom right and go to average, 191.87. That's the mean age for this entire sample. I think it's the same if you don't include the heading. Yeah, 191. That's it. And if you click on here, you see some other options that it automatically computes for you the sum, the minimum value, which is 93 pounds in this data set, or the maximum value of weight, which is 300 pounds. And again, you have 31 different people from this data set. The other way to compute the mean is by formula. So this is the point and click. When you do this, it's the point and click method because you point and you click. The other way is to do it by looking at the formula. So you can write, let's do another one here. Mean age. What you do is the formula method is you hit, you select one of the cells, you put equal, and then you type in average, and you can see here it has a bunch of different options because it's trying to predict what you're trying to do. So that's helpful. And then you hover over, it says what this function does. Each of these are different functions. So this is average is the numerical average value in the data set, ignoring text. You click on this, then you see here that basically you just have the value, like what are your X scores. So the way you do that is just click on it. You can click on this whole thing and it highlights everything. And then you hit enter. Then you get the mean age is 191.87. This is too many decimal points, so let's make it less decimal points. There you go. So that's the formula way of doing the mean age. Again, it's useful to know both the point and click and the and the formula method, just because sometimes the feature or the stats you're wanting to do in Google Sheets is available in the point and click method and not in the formula method. Sometimes it's available in the formula method and not the point and click method. So I want you all to get comfortable learning both. Okay.